Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about Earth Day. Now, Earth Day actually happened last week, but unfortunately with the craziness that's going on, Miss Bender forgot about it. It normally happens on April 22nd, but it's so important that I thought we should cover it this week. And all Earth Day is a big reminder that we should take care of the planet that we live on. Make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect the resources we have. And one of the ways that the Florida Aquarium is asking Florida students to take care of the earth we live on is through a program called Skip the Straw. Skip the plastic straw. And all that means is, if possible, don't use it. Skip means prefer not to. So say no thank you to a plastic straw if and when you can. The Florida Aquarium has 10 reasons why they think it's so important for us to skip the straw. Number 1, 500 million straws are used in the US every day. That's enough to fill 125 school buses. Number 2, plastic straws are among the top 5 items collected on the beach every year. Number 3, about 90% of the trash in the ocean is made from plastic. And even though plastic breaks down, it never really goes away. Plastic trash pollutes most marine habitats, including the deep sea, coral reefs, beaches, and rivers. In most places, plastic straws cannot be recycled at all. Straws and other plastics harm sea life, including fish, turtles, and coral reefs. Number 7, straws are easily carried away by the wind, ending up littering our beaches and in our oceans and waterways. Number 8, every year the US uses enough straws to wrap around the earth 2.5 times. Number 9, about 90% of seabirds and 30% of turtles have plastics in their stomach. Number 10, plastic breaks down into smaller pieces but never fully goes away. So what can you do to help? Reduce your use of single-use plastic straws. And what a single-use plastic straw is like a straw that you get in your McDonald's cup. Its whole purpose is to go inside your McDonald's cup, you drink it, and then you throw it out with your cup. If you like straws, like Miss Bender really likes straws in some of her drinks, you can do what's called multiple use plastic. I'm sorry, Miss Bender's getting tongue-tied. Like this one, this is a cool little bendy straw, but it is made out of plastic, and I pop it in the dishwasher and we use it over and over and over again. There's this one, it's a harder plastic, and my kids use it for like Slurpees because it's really easy to get the Slurpee ice through, I guess, I don't know, and it's harder. But again, we pop it in the dishwasher, use it again. Or some people like metal straws. They're made out of metal, so no plastic at all. But again, put it in the dishwasher or wash it by hand, and you can use it more than once. Some restaurants have started using paper straws like this guy here. Now, Miss Bender doesn't really love paper straws because they get mushy. But that's a good thing. It's because they're able to break down and deteriorate much faster than plastic, and they do break down completely, unlike plastic. However, I don't really like the breaking down process happening in my mouth. So I don't really use these that much. I either don't use them at all, or I use one of my multiple use straws. So that's all that skip the straw means. But there's more than you can do to help than just skip the straw. You can put your litter in the proper disposal areas like a trash can or a recycling container. You can participate in beach and river cleanup or park cleanups. And you can ask your friends and family to skip the straw. So today's lesson is more about beach debris and marine debris because we kind of live in an ocean water area where there is a ton of water. So I wanted to really focus on that this Earth Day. So marine debris is anything man-made and discarded that enters the environment. Most trash comes from land-based sources, sometimes hundreds of miles away from the coast. Trash on the ground may be swept into inland waterways by rain or wind, where it will then make its way into the ocean through rivers and streams. Debris in the ocean can spread invasive species, become navigational hazards, introduce toxic pollutants, and endanger human health, as well as kill wildlife or endanger their health. Plastic debris discarded into waterways can break down into smaller pieces but will never fully degrade, meaning it won't ever fully go away. Smaller pieces called microplastics can be ingested by marine life, that means eaten by marine life, and giving them a false sense of satiation, meaning they think they're full, but they're really not full. And it can also mess with the food chain. So Miss Bender made 2 bottles. Now, some rivers and lakes do look dirty, but really it's algae and other natural bacteria that is there naturally in the water. So not all water is as clear as this bottle all the time, but it's because of natural impacts to the water itself. So that's okay. However, there are human impacts on the water like this one, where oil and gas run into our rivers, making it slimy and greasy on top and changing the color, polluting the water inside. And look at all the debris in there. It would be very hard for a fish or an alligator or a shark or a sea turtle to navigate through those water, because not only are they trying to avoid their natural stuff like plants and coral, but they're running into other stuff like human debris. Now, some people ask me, how come sea turtles have plastic in their tummies? Well, a sea turtle's main food source is actually a jellyfish. And Miss Bender put a plastic bag in this jar. I wish I had a huge jar, because if I did, it would look really, really close. But I don't, I have a little jar. And when the bag floats around, notice how it's bobbing just like a jellyfish. So when it goes and it floats, it looks just like a jellyfish to a sea turtle. And they eat it thinking they're getting food. But really, they're not getting any nutrients at all from what they're ingesting or eating. So it's really important that we try to help clean up and pick up debris. And one way we can do that is through recycling. Now, you will know if you're able to recycle a container based on this little symbol right here. And that means you're able to recycle that container. Now, I also got our Pop-Tart container here because it actually has 2 symbols. Let me find them. There they are. So the one means the outside package, the cardboard box, can be recycled, but the stuff inside that's holding our Pop-Tarts cannot be recycled because it's contaminated by food. Now, when we reduce, reuse, and recycle, we ship this stuff off to be made into something else. So it's important that it doesn't have food particles on it. Now, some people confuse that, thinking anything that ever had food in it is not recyclable, and that's not true. He's clear, but on our milk container, it can also be recycled. However, the recycling company just asks that you rinse it out. So after that last drop of milk, go ahead and run it under the faucet and rinse it out really, really good before you send it off to be recycled. Markers, even your Crayola markers, you can actually send them back to the factory and they will reuse them themselves. Crayola is really awesome about taking old markers, even not their brand markers, and crayons to melt them all down and use them again. So that's pretty awesome that companies are starting to do that. Plastic bags you can take to the stores. I know Publix has return containers, and so do Walmart, because plastic bags are kind of on their last leg. So if you take them back to the store to recycle them, they can use them again and melt them back down. Another thing that you can do to help is, if you have plastic like this, it does tell you that you can recycle it, but it might blow out of the truck. So instead of letting a bird or a fish get stuck in there, you can take a pair of scissors with your parents' permission and cut it so that there's no more holes for them to get stuck into. And then throw it in the recycling container. There we go. So now we just have one long strip, and I can put that in our recycling container. All right, so that's how we can reduce, reuse, recycle, and skip the straw. So for today's Earth Day activity, I'm going to reduce and reuse some eggshells. So I have my eggshells here, and what I'm going to do, unfortunately, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's thundering really, really loud. My original plan for today's lesson was to show you how to do this outside, but I can't do that now thanks to Mother Nature and all the rain and thunderstorms that are happening. But it's Earth Day, so let it do its thing. But what you can do is take eggshells, put them in a carton. I did not finish my egg carton just yet, so I'm reusing my cup holder here, and I'm putting my eggs in. You fill each individual shell with dirt and put seeds in it. Then you can plant the whole thing in the ground. This gives your brand new baby plant new calcium and nutrients that it might not get in the soil. And this itself will biodegrade and break down and make more nutrients for other plants around it. So that's how you can reduce and reuse eggshells. And another thing, if you would like to do, is the Florida Aquarium suggested students like you make skip the straw posters. So I have two examples, and if you do happen to make a poster, please ask Mom and Dad to take a picture of it and email it to Miss Bender at amanda.perkinson@pulp-fl.net. So, or you can put it on Teams. But here's the first one. It was kind of cute. It's a little sea turtle, and it says, "Save a turtle, skip the straw." And then we have another one, and it's a whale. And notice how his belly is all full of plastic, and we don't want that to happen. So it says, "Keep the sea plastic free." So I want to see what you guys come up with skip the straw challenges. And if you decide to plant in eggshells, let me see those pictures too. All right, bye guys.